Welcome to this explosive breakdown of one of the most unforgettable moments in American political television history. Imagine the stage set in Miami, the air thick with anticipation, as NBC's Town Hall unfolds on October 15, 2020. President Donald Trump, fresh from testing positive for COVID-19 and just out of Walter Reed Medical Center, steps into the spotlight, expecting perhaps a softball session with voters. But waiting for him is Savannah Guthrie, the poised and unflinching co-anchor of the Today Show, armed not with kid gloves but with a barrage of pointed questions that turn the event into a verbal cage match. This wasn't just an interview, it was a reckoning, a clash of titans where Guthrie, a former litigator with a prosecutor's precision, dismantled Trump's deflections one by one. From the very first exchange, the tension crackles like electricity. Guthrie wastes no time, diving straight into the heart of Trump's recent health scare, demanding clarity on whether he was tested for the coronavirus before the first presidential debate against Joe Biden. Trump, ever the showman, dances around it, claiming his memory is sharp as a tack yet conveniently foggy on this crucial detail. "I don't know, but I assume I did," he says, but Guthrie isn't buying it. She presses, her voice steady but insistent, reminding him that the American people deserve straight answers from their leader, especially amid a pandemic that's claiming lives daily. As the audience watches in stunned silence, you can feel the shift. This isn't the fawning Fox News interviews Trump is accustomed to. This is journalism in its rawest form, holding power to account. And oh, does it escalate? Guthrie pivots seamlessly to Trump's social media habits, zeroing in on a particularly egregious retweet of a conspiracy theory so outlandish it posited that Joe Biden had arranged for the murder of SEAL Team 6 to cover up the fake death of Osama bin Laden. "Why would you send a lie like that to your followers?" she asks, her eyes locked on his, refusing to let him slither away with platitudes. Trump retorts with his signature bluster, calling it a retweet among millions, but Guthrie counters sharply, "You're the president." It's a line that hangs in the air, underscoring the gravity of his platform and the irresponsibility of amplifying falsehoods. Viewers at home lean closer to their screens, hearts pounding, as this exchange lays bare the chasm between fact and fiction in the Trump era. But Guthrie doesn't stop there. She circles back to the pandemic, challenging his equivocations on masks. Trump, who rarely wears one himself, claims they're catching the virus all the time, citing dubious reports that Guthrie fact-checks on the spot, revealing them as misinterpretations. Her preparation shines through as she's done her homework, quoting studies and statistics that puncture his narrative like pins in a balloon. The president's frustration mounts, his interruptions grow sharper, his gestures more animated, as if willing the conversation back to safer ground. Yet Guthrie remains a rock, her follow-ups relentless, turning what was meant to be a voter cue into a masterclass in accountability. As the minutes tick by, social media erupts, so hashtags like #SavannahGuthrie and #TrumpTownHall trend worldwide, with pundits hailing her as the hero the moment needed. This opening salvo sets the tone for an hour that would redefine political interviewing, proving that in the face of evasion, persistence pays off. But wait, there's more to unpack. The real fireworks are just igniting as Guthrie tackles the elephant in the room, white supremacy and Trump's reluctance to denounce it unequivocally. Remember that debate moment when he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by? Guthrie brings it up without mercy, asking point-blank if he condemns these groups. Trump's response is a meandering mess, praising how he's done more for Black Americans than anyone since Lincoln, but dodging the direct repudiation she seeks. "I don't know who the Proud Boys are," he claims, which draws audible gasps from the crowd. Guthrie, undeterred, pushes harder. "You said stand back and stand by. What did that mean?" It's a prosecutorial trap, and Trump falls into it, fumbling for coherence as she interjects with facts about rising hate crimes under his watch. The exchange is electric, a stark reminder of how words from the Oval Office echo through the streets, fueling division. Critics later called it biased, but in truth, it's the unvarnished truth-seeking that journalism demands. As the segment wraps, you can't help but admire Guthrie's composure. Her blonde hair perfectly in place, her smile polite but her resolve ironclad. This is the kind of broadcast that lingers, that sparks dinner table debates and late-night scrolls through fact-checks. And as we delve deeper into this script, we'll explore how this clash reverberated far beyond the studio, influencing the election narrative and cementing Guthrie's legacy as a fearless voice. But for now, let's linger on that raw energy, the way Trump's bravado cracked under scrutiny, revealing the man behind the myth. It's moments like these that make democracy messy, vital, and utterly compelling. Fast forward through the haze of heated rhetoric, and we arrive at the segment that would become legend: Guthrie's takedown of Trump's flirtation with QAnon, the sprawling conspiracy cult that painted him as a savior battling a cabal of satanic pedophiles in the deep state. Picture the scene. The Miami audience leans in, the camera tight on Guthrie's face, her expression a mix of incredulity and determination as she asks, "What do you think of QAnon?" Trump's initial dodge is classic: "I heard they are very strongly against pedophilia," as if cherry-picking their lone palatable stance absolves the madness. But Guthrie, like a litigator cross-examining a slippery witness, won't let it slide. "They believe that you're a secret agent fighting a cabal of Satan-worshipping cannibals," she retorts, her tone laced with the absurdity of it all, forcing Trump to confront the lunacy he's amplified. He praises them for loving the country, saying he'd tell them to stand down, but it's too late now. The damage is done, and America watches as their president refuses to fully disavow a group that's inspired violence and eroded trust in institutions. This moment crystallizes the warped information Trump referenced earlier, one fed by fringe sources that Guthrie exposes with surgical precision. Her questions aren't gotchas, they're clarion calls for sanity in a polarized age. As Trump shifts uncomfortably, invoking Abraham Lincoln again, a historical flex that feels increasingly desperate, Guthrie interjects, "But sir, this is not about Lincoln, it's about now." The crowd murmurs approval, sensing the tide turning against the commander-in-chief. Post-event analysis floods the airwaves. CNN's media watchers praise her for highlighting Trump's poisoned info diet, while conservative outlets cry foul, accusing her of ambush journalism. Yet, in the cold light of day, it's clear Guthrie elevated the discourse, compelling viewers to question what they consume. This clash isn't just personal, it's emblematic of a broader battle for truth in the digital age, where algorithms amplify echo chambers and leaders wield tweets like weapons. Trump's campaign, sensing vulnerability, launches a counteroffensive, with spokespeople decrying the gotcha questions and positioning Guthrie as a Biden surrogate. But the backlash only amplifies her triumph. Ratings soar for NBC, and clips go viral, dissected by late-night hosts like Stephen Colbert who quip about Trump's Q lottery of excuses. Delving deeper, we see how this exchange ties into Trump's COVID narrative. Just days prior, he downplayed the virus as a hoax, yet here he is, post-infection, still equivocating on science. Guthrie masterfully weaves these threads, asking about his debate day test again, and when he admits uncertainty, she lands the iconic zinger, "You're the president, you're not like someone's crazy uncle who can just retweet whatever pops into your head." The line lands like a thunderclap, eliciting nervous laughter from the audience and a visible flinch from Trump. It's unscripted genius, born of frustration after 20 minutes of fruitless prodding, and it humanizes the stake. This isn't family banter, lives hang in the balance. Reflecting later in interviews, Guthrie admits it just came out, a spontaneous eruption of journalistic integrity that shocked even her. In the annals of TV history, it joins the pantheon of unforgettable rebukes, akin to Cronkite's Vietnam verdict or Rather's Watergate digs. As we transition to the voter questions, the format shifts, but Guthrie's influence lingers, her follow-ups ensuring no softball goes unchallenged. One attendee asks about economic recovery, and Trump launches into boasts, but Guthrie circles back to job losses from the pandemic, citing Bureau of Labor Statistics figures that undercut his optimism. It's subtle yet searing, a reminder that moderation demands vigilance. This paragraph of our script captures the essence of that volatility, the way one woman's resolve can pierce the armor of power. But the night isn't over as Trump fields queries on race and policing. Guthrie's shadow looms, ready to fact-check claims of law and order against realities of brutality. Her presence transforms the hall from echo chamber to arena, where ideas clash and truth emerges battered but brighter. In an era of fake news fatigue, Guthrie's performance is a beacon, urging us all to demand more from our leaders and ourselves. Midway through the town hall, the format ostensibly opens to the floor of voters with microphones, stories to share, questions born of real pain and hope. Yet, even here, Savannah Guthrie reigns supreme, a conductor ensuring harmony amid chaos. Take the woman from the audience who probes Trump's handling of racial injustice. He responds with familiar tropes about urban crime and his beautiful response to George Floyd's murder, but Guthrie interjects like a surgeon's scalpel, asking, "What about peaceful transfer of power if you lose?" It's a pivot that stuns, tying civil unrest to electoral integrity, exposing how Trump's rhetoric sows doubt in democracy itself. He assures a clean election but hedges, saying he'd prefer not to transfer power because I want to win. A confession that chills the room. Guthrie's follow-up is masterful. Why lay the groundwork for claims of fraud? Likening it to preemptively whining about a sprained ankle in tennis. Trump's bluster falters. He insists on peace but can't shake the implication of his words. This exchange reverberates, fueling headlines about election sabotage fears just weeks before November 5. Meanwhile, across the dial on ABC, Joe Biden's town hall with George Stephanopoulos plods along policy wonkishly, a stark contrast to NBC's fireworks that draws viewers like moths to flame. Ratings later confirm it. Trump's forum spikes to 13.6 million, edging out Biden's 13.4, proof that drama trumps decorum in the attention economy. But beyond numbers, Guthrie's impact is philosophical as she embodies the Socratic method in primetime, questioning not to trap but to illuminate. When a nurse asks about healthcare, Trump touts his pre-existing conditions protections, but Guthrie counters with ACA repeal attempts, forcing him to admit, "We didn't get rid of it." It's a dance of deflection and disclosure, where each step reveals more about the stakes. Conservative critics, from Sean Hannity to Kayleigh McEnany, howl about bias, tweeting frenziedly during breaks. McEnany even storms the stage at one point, whispering heatedly to Guthrie, a moment caught on hot mix that hints at backstage fury. The Trump campaign's post-event statement dubs it a defeat for NBC, with Guthrie cast as debate opponent and Biden chill, but the irony is rich. If anything, her rigor validates the medium, countering accusations of liberal media softness. As the hour wanes, fatigue sets in. Trump's voice strains, his interruptions wane, but Guthrie's energy holds, her final question on climate change eliciting a nod to beautiful clean coal that she gently debunks with EPA data. The closing credits roll to applause, mixed with murmurs, as Trump exits stage left, perhaps wiser, definitely warier. In dissecting this phase, we see the town hall's dual nature, a platform for the people, elevated by a moderator who refuses to cede control. Her Arizona journalism roots Shania trained to chase truth, not headline as a turning potential fluff into substance. Pundits like Joe Lockhart opine on CNN that Trump squandered a golden opportunity for gravitas, while The Guardian hails Guthrie as the night's true victor, keeping the flailing president in check. This isn't mere entertainment. It's civic duty dramatized, a lesson in how one voice can amplify millions. As our script builds, we'll explore the aftermaths, ripples of the viral memes, the think pieces, the subtle shifts in public perception. But pause here on that nurse's face, hopeful yet haunted, and Guthrie's nod of empathy. It's the human core beneath the spectacle, reminding us why we tune in, why we care. In a fractured republic, such nights stitch us closer, if only for an hour. As the dust settles on the Miami stage, the real storm brews online and in newsrooms, where the Guthrie-Trump clash ignites a media maelstrom that reshapes narratives heading into the election's homestretch. Clips flood Twitter, now amassing millions of views. The crazy uncle quip alone spawns parodies, from SNL sketches to TikTok remixes, with users dubbing Guthrie Mama Bear for her protective ferocity toward facts. Fox News launches a counter-narrative, Sean Hannity thundering that NBC ambushed the president, turning a town hall into a kangaroo court, while Trump's inner circle, including Mercedes Schlapp, contrasts it unfavorably with Biden's Mr. Rogers snoozefest. Yet, the backlash boomerangs. Polls show a bump in Trump's unfavorable ratings, With independents praising Guthrie's tenacity in focus groups, The New York Times dissects her technique: quick-paced, conversational jabs that corner without cornering, accrediting her litigator past for the edge. In interviews, Guthrie demurs, calling it just doing my job, but insiders whisper of pre-event nerves, her team prepping blinders thick as phone books with Trump's tweets and gaffes. This preparation pays dividends, evident in her mask efficacy pushback, where she cites the very study Trump mangles, neutralizing his 85% infection claim among wearers as a twisted stat on positivity rates. The moment underscores journalism's fact-checking imperative, a bulwark against misinformation in Trump's post-truth presidency. Broader ripples touch policy discourse. Post-Hall, mask mandates gain traction in swing states, and Conan's visibility prompts platform crackdowns, with Facebook limiting its spread. Trump's own reflections, in later rallies, mock Guthrie as nasty, but the barb falls flat at her likability soars. Today Show viewership jumps 20%. This cultural aftershock extends to gender dynamics. Female journalists like Rachel Maddow celebrate her as a trailblazer, smashing the softball stereotype for women in the anchor chair. Conversely, it fuels MAGA martyrdom, with rallies chanting fake news louder, but data from Pew shows increased trust in NBC among moderates. As we unpack this echo chamber explosion, consider the human toll. Guthrie fields death threats alongside fan mail, her family her anchor amid the vitriol. Trump's campaign, stung, vows no more hostile interviews, opting for friendly punts, but the damage lingers. A YouGov poll ties the event to a 3-point Biden lead expansion. In academia, comms professors cited as case study in adversarial interviewing, praising how Guthrie balanced empathy with edge, never interrupting gratuitously but always pursuing clarity. Her stand-back and stand-by dissection, replayed endlessly, forces Trump's surrogates into awkward defenses, eroding the tough-on-crime facade. This paragraph of our video script delves into these waves, painting not just the event but its ecosystem. The likes, shares, op-eds that propel it into legend. Imagine montages, split screens of Trump's fluster juxtaposed with Guthrie's calm, overlaid with pundit hot takes. It's the anatomy of virality, where 1 hour begets weeks of conversation, nudging the Overton window toward accountability. Yet, nuance abounds. Some black viewers critique her for centering white supremacist questions over policy depth, sparking debates on intersectional journalism. Guthrie responds thoughtfully in follow-ups, pledging deeper dives, exemplifying growth. As the election looms, this clash becomes a touchstone, a memeified microcosm of 2020's chaos: pandemic, protests, polls. It humanizes the horse race, reminding us leaders are fallible, moderators formidable. In scripting this, we honor that legacy, urging viewers to seek such rigor in their feeds. The night that kicked Trump off his game wasn't just TV, it was a mirror to our divided soul, reflecting back the questions we must ask ourselves. Peering beyond the immediate frenzy, the Guthrie-Trump showdown casts a long shadow over the 2020 campaign, subtly but surely tilting the scales in ways analysts would dissect for years. With ballots dropping and tensions peaking, Trump's post-Hall appearances carry a new wariness. He spars less freely, his unscripted drifts tempered by memories of that Miami grill. Biden's team, sensing momentum, amplifies clips and ads, framing Trump as evasive on health and hate, a strategy that resonates in suburbs where moms. Guthrie's own demographic prioritize safety. Voter turnout surges among women, with exit polls crediting tough questioning as a motivator, narrowing Trump's path to 270. Media scholars later penned tomes on the Guthrie effect, arguing it humanized fact-checking, making it relatable rather than elitist. Her conversational style, part friendly chat, part courtroom drama, lowers barriers, inviting audiences into the fray. Trump, for his part, doubles down on grievance, billing the event as rigged in fundraisers, raking in millions from fired-up bases but alienating fence-sitters weary of drama. This polarization paradox defines the finale. November 3 yields Biden's narrow win, with recounts echoing Guthrie's fraud groundwork warnings. Post-election, as January 6 looms, her election integrity queries feel prophetic, underscoring media's prescience role. Guthrie's star ascends a Emmy nods, book deals whisper so while NBC basks in credibility glow, countering CNN's enemy label. But introspection follows. Was the format fair, pitting one man against a prepared host? Defenders say yes. Accountability demands it. Detractors, no. It veered into debate territory. In our script's reflective turn, we explore these what-ifs, interviewing virtual experts. A poli-sci professor lauds her for modeling civil discourse amid incivility, while a GOP strategist laments lost soft power. Flashbacks intercut, Trump's canon praise morphing into FBI probes, his mask skepticism haunting Delta waves. Guthrie emerges as 2020's unlikely MVP, her crazy Uncle barbacultural shibboleth, quoted in Senate hearings on social media reform. It sparks curriculum change as schools mandate Guthrie drills, training reporters in follow-up tenacity. Globally, it inspires. BBC's Andrew Neil cites it in PM interviews, demanding similar candor. Yet, humility tempers triumph. Guthrie, in a 2021 reflection, admits exhaustion, the toll of frontline truth-telling in toxic times. This vulnerability endears her further, a reminder that heroes bleed. As Biden assumes office, echoes persist. Press briefings sharpen, with Jen Psaki channeling Guthrie's precision. Trump's exile to Mar-a-Lago doesn't dim the lesson. His 2024 bid revives grudges, but voters, scarred by 2020, crave substance over spectacle. In scripting this legacy arc, we montage timelines, from Miami mix to Capitol breach. Guthrie's voice a through line urging vigilance. It's poignant journalism, not as bloodsport but bridge building, mending rifts one question at a time. Critics who decried bias missed the point. Her probes were universal, applicable to any leader. In an age of deepfakes and distrust, Guthrie's authenticity is gold, a blueprint for holding power without partisanship. As our video crests this wave, viewers are left pondering, what if every interview aspired to this rigor? The clash that kicked Trump off wasn't ejection but elevation, lifting discourse from gutter to agora. It challenges us to engage similarly at PTAs, polls, protests, demanding answers that honor our shared fragility. In 1,500 characters of contemplation, this paragraph etches that enduring imprint, a scar and star on democracy's skin.